Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel and welcome if you're new. In today's video we are going to be continuing with this page from Rita Berman's book My Travel Through Europe. So we're going to make a start on this bordering edge here. So the first colour that I'm going to go in with is Spring Green. So I'll go ahead and zoom you in and we'll get started. So I'm going to make a start by adding a base coat to these leaves here because I want the base to be quite a light green and then we'll add in some shade afterwards. So I'm just going to go ahead and add this colour down to these leaves. Next, taking Spearmint Green, we're going to add some shade to these. So I'm going to darken up the bottom section of the leaf and then lift the pressure as you come towards the middle. And then I'm going to take this over the joining line through the middle of the leaf as well, just to darken that up. And then I'll go ahead and do the same for all of these leaves. Then going back in with Spring Green, I'm going to go ahead and fill these in and blend out the darker colour. So you just want to take it over the darker colour and just use a bit more pressure and just blend that all together. Next, going in with Forest Green, I'm just going to add a little bit more darkness to the very bottom of the leaves. So I'm not using a lot of pressure here, I'm just using light pressure just to darken this up a little bit more. Next, going in with Ube Purple, I'm going to make a start on these berries. So I'm going to go ahead and fill them in using this colour. So I'm just going to use normal pressure here. Then going in with Royal Purple, we're going to add some shade to them. So I'm just going to darken up the bottom right hand section just to give them a little bit of a shadow. Then I'm going to go back in with Spearmint Green and go ahead and fill in this stem here for this flower. So I'll fill in the part that goes right up behind the flower as well. Then taking Forest Green, we'll add a little bit of shade right underneath the flower and a little bit down here where it comes from the plant. Next, going in with Peacock Blue, I'm going to make a start on this flower. So I'm going to do a nice base coat on here so that we've got a really light colour to work with. Then going in with Sapphire Blue, I'm going to add some shade to this. So I want to darken up here where it comes from the actual flower. So I'm going to do that first. And then I'm going to add some darkness to the tips of the flower as well. And I'm quite liking that, so I'm going to go ahead and use a bit more pressure right at the top here and just darken this up a little bit more. And the bottom here. Then going in with our white pencil, I'm going to go ahead and blend this together. So I'm just going to go up and down so that it pulls the darker colour through the lighter colour. Then going in with our Posca pen, I'm going to add the highlights to the berries. Going back in with Peacock Blue, I'm going to go ahead and make a start by doing a base coat on this flower that's open. So just using light pressure here and just getting this colour down. Then going back in with Sapphire Blue, we're going to do the same as what we did for this one. So we're going to darken up here where it joins to the middle of the flower. So I'll just use light pressure first and just mark out where I want the colour to be. And then we're going to do it round the tops of the petals again so that we're left with the light patch in the middle. Okay, so I'm going to bring this a little further up. Again, still using light pressure. And I'm just doing little up and down motions so that we don't get any straight lines. And now I'm going to start to add some darkness just to the bottom of these sections. So just add a bit more pressure. And then we'll do the same for the edges. So I'm just going to go right up the edges and darken this up. Then going back in with our white pencil, we're going to go ahead and blend this together. And again, I'm going to go up and down so it drags the darker blue down into the lighter blue. Then for the centre of the flower, I'm going to use Sapphire Blue and I'm going to go around the very outside edge. Just leave a little hole in the middle. And then I'm going to use Royal Purple to fill that in. Going back in with our Posca pen, I'm going to add a couple of little highlights just to the top parts of the petals. And now I'm going to repeat the same for this side. So going in with Spring Green, we're going to do a base coat on the leaves. Then taking Spearmint Green, I'm going to go ahead and add some shading. So I'll do the same again, just sort of darken up the bottoms of the leaves and then follow the line up to the end. Then going back in with Spring Green, I'm going to fill these in. So use a bit more pressure, just darken these up. Then going back in with Forest Green, we're going to darken up the very bottom edges. Taking Spearmint Green, I'm going to go ahead and fill in this part here behind the flower and its little stem. And then going in with forest green, we will shade this again at the bottom and just behind the flower. Next, taking Ube Purple, I'm going to do the berries on this side. Taking Royal Purple, I'm going to add the shade in. Next, going in with Peacock Blue, I'm going to add our base coat to this little flower here. Then using Sapphire Blue, I'm going to add the shade in again to the tops and the bottoms. Back in with our white pencil and go ahead and blend that. Next, going in with Eggplant Purple, we're going to make a start on this little moth or butterfly here. So I want to make these parts of his wings a little bit darker, so I'm going to use normal pressure and darken up this very bottom edge of both of his wings. And then I'm going to lift the pressure as we come out into the wing. Then taking Orchid Purple, I'm going to go ahead and fill in the rest of his wing and blend these two colours together. So just take it over the Eggplant Purple. And then going back in with Eggplant Purple, I'm going to fill in this little circle at the end here. And just go over, add a little bit more darkness to this wing. And I'll fill this one in whilst I've got the Eggplant Purple out. And then go back in with Orchid Purple and fill in the rest of this wing. And then Eggplant Purple again, just to blend out this line a little bit nicer. Taking Espresso Brown, I'm going to fill in his little body. So I'm just going to fill this in completely. Then going in with our Posca pen, I'm going to add two little white dots to give him some eyes. And then I'll add a little highlight to his body. And then I'm just going to add some dots onto his wing here, just to really brighten up the edges of his wings. So let's do the same for this one. So I'll go in with Eggplant Purple. Then going in with Orchid Purple, I'm going to go ahead and fill in the rest. Going back in with Espresso Brown, I'm going to fill in his body. Back in with our Posca pen, and we'll give him some eyes. And again, a little highlight and some dots on his wings. Okay, so I'm going to continue around the page. So I'm going to go in with Spring Green first and go ahead and do a base coat on these leaves. Then going in with Spearmint Green, we're going to add the shade to them. Back in with Spring Green to fill them in. and forest green to add a little bit more shade. Then going in with Ube Purple, we're going to fill in the berries. Then using Royal Purple, I'm going to add the shade. Back in with our Posca pen. I forgot to put the highlights on these ones, so I'm just going to add some highlights to these berries up here. And then I'm going to add the highlights to these ones. Next, going in with lemon yellow, I'm going to start on this butterfly here. So I'm going to fill in his little body with yellow. And then I'm going to fill in the little dots in yellow too. Then taking peony pink, I'm going to add some light pink to this side of the butterfly. So I'm going to go around the yellow and then lift the pressure here in the middle. So you can make this bit at the top a little bit darker. And we'll do the same for this side. Then taking Fruit Punch, we're going to go ahead and fill in this back part of the wing. Then I'm just going to take peony pink again and just go over the blend line, make sure that it's all blended together nicely. And then I'm going to give this one some eyes with our Posca pen. And then I'm going to add some little white dots all around the back edge of the wings, just following the sort of scallop pattern. Okay, so going back in with Spring Green, I'm going to start on these leaves here. Taking Spearmint Green, we're going to add our shade in. Back in with Spring Green to blend it all together. Then using Forest Green, I'm going to go ahead and darken up the bottom sections again. Then taking Ube Purple, we're going to do the berries. Royal Purple for some shade. And then Posca pen to add our little highlights. So this is how it's looking so far, you guys, and I'm literally just going to repeat the same steps that I did up here to go all the way around here. So I'll go ahead and zoom you in and you can follow along. Okay, so next going in with a gold gel pen, what I'm going to do is go ahead and fill in this little line of border all the way around the edge because I thought this would look nice in gold. So I'm just going to go ahead and do that now. Okay guys, so this is this page finished, so I hope you like the final result. If you do, don't forget to give it a big thumbs up, and also don't forget to leave your comments down below on which page we should do next, and I'll see you guys in the next video.